Hello everyone, we're going to be doing Vateshran today, at least I am, and yeah, I've had pretty good success on this solo arena on Veteran before. Like I nearly managed to no death my first run. This is about my 6th run going through. I'm not the best DPS, I don't hit 100k, I'm only at 56k DPS. I run training Zens with Mechs Infused and Divine Infallible, and one piece Pale Order, one piece Zons for weapon damage. Actually, I think that goes critical. And yeah, it was an alright run. Took a few breaks, but it took about an hour in total to get through, so I'm just going to voice over some commentary and show you how this run goes. Skill-wise, I'm running the Twilight Tormentor, Volatile Familiar, Daedric Prey, Crushing Shock for the Interrupt, and Hardened Ward and Elemental Succession, in addition to Crystal Fragments. I know there was a slight break in my speech, but didn't see what those skills were off the bat, so going through nuking these ads. You might call it a nuke, but it's very much about a standard DPS, so it's definitely not going down instantaneously, but it's going down at a good rate. This troll kind of trolls me for a bit because I was looking at my screen on my phone when I was doing this, and he kind of surprised me with a couple AoEs that I wasn't quite paying attention to. So this part here just goes to show you how dangerous this trial is for me. When I'm not paying attention, it got 2-shot by AoEs right there off the bat, and yeah, it's going to be a close run. There you can see I blasted it out without it doing too much damage to my health because I picked up the controller and started to hone in. These hives, they body block with their flies, so you got to get real close. If you're on a ranged DPS and get in there and blast them out. But they don't do too much as long as you avoid the AoE. Now, somewhere along here is the lava path that takes you to the stam bonus that you can get in this trial. I've never done it. I've only done the magic and health once, but if you start in the blue arena and then get the portals so you can go into the red arena, get your health, and then get the lava immunity that you can go to and finish the green arena in. For the order, since I'm a mag DPS, I go green arena first to get the grappling hook, and then I go mag arena to get the mag, and then I finish out in the lava arena. So for this boar, you gotta kill that Spriggan that was off to the side, otherwise it stays immune. You see like a yellow golden glow that kind of appears on that boar. It's protected by a special mechanic, so you have to take out the Spriggan before you can start doing a lot of damage to it. You can still damage it beforehand, but it goes a lot quicker when you take out the Spriggan. And it kind of sets you up for the next mechanic in this boss fight.
But do you have the strength for more?
So here, you get more glowing Spriggans. Once you finish taking them out, you'll have the ability to damage one of these lurchers. And you see that glowing aurora on the ground, and it'll select one of them. That's the only one you can damage. So when you're running Pale Order, you have to focus on the thing you can do damage to. If you're damaging something you can't do damage to, you don't get any healing. So you'll see how you know, reliant I am on that with this run once we get the final boss fight. But here, you know, it's the first boss. Nothing's been upgraded yet because each arena upgrades once you finish the other arena. So it's the easiest setting you can do this on. If you do the standard DPS method, it'll be the hardest arena you go into besides the last boss. But for mag DPS, it's the easiest arena you go into. When it comes to the scaling of the enemies, the damage they do, and the resistances they have. So if you see their Spriggans off to the side, they'll eventually do a little channel beam on me. I think one of them might have already done it, and then it passed. But there should be another one coming up where all you have to do is turn towards the Spriggan, interrupt it, and continue damaging the Lurcher. There it is. You see that beam coming out of me off to the side. I have to go interrupt that. But I turned to interrupt that, but I finished the boss fight before the mechanic went off, so I didn't have to worry about going damaged and vulnerable. And that would have negated all my healing had that happened, had it gone damage immune. So for my DPS, it really only happens once or twice a fight that I have to interrupt the Spriggan. I managed to burn the bosses fast enough, but there's some DPS slower than me that probably can't do this dungeon at all, because I'm just barely getting through the shade portion of this fight. So there's some mini ads along this grappling course you have to take out. If you're a Nightblade, you can just walk right past it. One of the first videos I seen was a guy who did a trifecta, no death speed run, and he just walked past everything on a Nightblade, and he kind of skipped almost all the mechanics. For me, I got to do the mechanics, so you'll see me just going through everything except for the portal enemies. So this ogre has a few heavy attacks, but you know, if you're ranged DPS, you just kind of zone him out, rotate, you know, and you avoid most of his damage, rotating around the boss. You know, block if you have to heal and get low. Keep on going. More cliff racers, 4 of them. So mainly single target DPS with the Scamp as an AoE. Right here I didn't have it activated, so I'm slacking. I just single target these guys down. Activate the Scamp at the end for no type of reason, other than to say that I had it on. Now, of course, the environmental hazard is falling off a cliff, especially with this boss fight coming up. You have to kind of get towards the edge of the platform and grapple to the other side in order to do the mechanic. This Hashimoto, you know, has a charge that he does, and I hear that when he's the last arena, if you do green for the last arena, you can one-shot use the charge. Doing it on the first arena, you don't have to worry about it all too much. You know, they'll just knock you out the way, they can get up and continue bursting him down. Okay, for this guy, you have to fight him on the platform of his color, of the opposite color that he is. He'll either be red or he'll be blue. That doesn't happen until about 80% of the way through the fight, but he kind of takes you through a sample mechanic by jumping. So he'll jump to this platform, you know, once you get him down, he'll turn and change color, and that's your cue to go to the other platform and continue DPSing him down. You see that glow that he got right there? So you can walk over, grapple, he'll jump, so you want to get away from that grapple point as quickly as possible so you don't take the damage. And yeah, just DPS him down, and then around 60 is when you get the fire mechanic. You know, the fire mechanic, you pretty much just have to keep an eye on the ghosts that you see in the center. There's 4 ghosts for each platform, and then they channel on the opposite platform. They'll tell you when they're about to do it. They say now the fight begins or something like that, and that's when they start doing their first fire attack. Now they won't give a voice cue for when they do it again, so you have to watch them during the fight. So once you finish bashing all of them, you just look at what color he is, be on the platform the right color. You see he turned orange when he's on the platform, so I just stay here. I took out one of the archers just to get rid of some of the damage that was on me. They respawn each time you change platform, so there's not really much point in just focusing them. But you know, it's good when there's only one around, so that way you don't have to take too much additional damage. You know, so you watch him, you keep the ghosts in the line of sight. You know, when he changes colors, you go to the next platform. So there, I was expecting the mechanics. So you might have seen me kind of stop DPSing him because I kind of have it mentally timed when this goes off. You know, it'll be after about like a minute or so. So if you DPS him for too long, and like maybe get 20% of his health down, chances are the fire mechanic is going to come back up. Those ghosts, I two-tap them, but even then, like, so my DPS isn't 100k DPS, it's only 50k DPS. I'm only doing half the meta. And, you know, just barely getting through some parts of this. And it's not that I'm a new player, you know, I definitely am an old veteran player. I've been playing since the launch of Xbox in, like, 2015 or 2014. And, there, you know, you see the environmental hazard. I nearly fell to my death, but managed to get the grapple at the last moment. There he comes. There I go back to blue because he's red, and I finished the fight here, if I think so. Oh no, he changed color as soon as he jumped, so I had to go back to the red platform. There's the finish. Now the archers, the little mini archers that you see on the side, they rain fire. It's not the same fire that wipes the arena. If you don't do that bash mechanic, the whole platform will set on fire of the opposite side of the ghost, and you lose the ability to maneuver a bit. So you either have to go back left or back right if you lose the platform. Here, the blue portal is kind of relaxing, if you ask me. It's very simple to do. You just go through. The hardest thing is collecting the extra magical balls that give the bonus stats. And you know, you just kind of DPS through everything. So as far as I know, I hear there's a map out that has all the locations of the orbs, but you don't get the orb spawning in until you pick up the first orb. So once I finish with this ad here, I'll walk through a gate and finish off an Ogrim. And this gate, I think, is where they start spawning, so the orbs will spawn beyond that point. But beforehand, you don't have to worry about going back and looking for an orb. Now these wardens, you know, sometimes in the harvesters in game, you know, give a lot of fight, especially the one in Imperial City in Arboretum. You know, if you know that one has a one-shot that it can do and heal itself back up to full with these orbs. Where this, you can kind of DPS race it. You know, one orb might get in every now and again, but you know, usually you can finish off the harvester before they get all the orbs back. Now I'm running Elemental Succession because I'm a Breton. I don't have to worry about magical lifesteal from the other morph. I can just get the extra dots, the burning, concuss, and chilled effect that is offered by the morph of weakness of elements that I'm using. But this is the grappling point that goes off towards the blue buff for Magicka. And you have to get the prime orb, which gives 5,000, before you can get the small orbs that give 1,000 each, for a total, I think, of 10,000 when you have collected all 5 and then the initial orb. So it's just a path off the left to grapple points. It's kind of a lot of grappling you do. You take a lot of fall damage, but it doesn't really kill you. You just kind of go through it. Let your health recovery come back up. I guess if you're a vampire and you have no health recovery, you know, you kind of have to heal. But for everyone else, health recovery will get you through this part. There I go, picked it up. 5,000 Magicka in the bag. And for the last boss fight, like I said, I barely get through it. Like, you know, gotta have all the stats I can, so I'm very vigilant when it comes to looking around, checking for the other orbs. Now, there is a bonus boss in each of the arenas that you don't have to do, but sometimes on the path towards them, they'll spawn the objective orbs, whether you're in stamina or you're in health or Magicka, whichever one you're going for, whichever arena you're in. Blue, you know, Cold Harbor, Hercene green, or Mayron's Dagon red. You know, you gotta look on the side path in order to find all of the orbs. And the side paths are unlocked using the special mechanic of the previous arena. So this one is the grapple mechanic. If you want to go to the special boss, you have to use the grapple mechanic and a portal in order to unlock them. For the one health arena, you have to use the lava orb, walk off to the side, and then use a portal in order to get through it. So it's the mechanic of the arena and the mechanic of the previous arena that you're in that kind of gets you to the special boss. You can't just go there with one mechanic. So this bridge is not very deadly. You know, you can get hit by a couple lightnings and not die. But, you know, if you just walk into the harvester after crossing the bridge and you're getting hit a couple times without healing, you might be in trouble, but it does very little damage. Now, crushing shock is very good from the interrupt, so, you know, I made a build using shock soul or something like that, the scribe skill, but it doesn't have interrupts, so it's not as potent for content like this. And surprisingly, in that build, I hit the same amount of DPS, even though I'm running Oblivion and perfected boss size, which is like 15% bonus damage and 12% bonus damage, but I haven't parsed correctly because I didn't pre-drain my Magicka. So I gotta do another parse on that. But for this fight, pretty much just focus the Flesh Atronach the moment it spawns, because the boss will go immune after about a minute into the fight, after the fight starts. So the Atronach won't, but the Summoner will. But the only thing you have to do is look at the Summoner and make sure you pay attention to him for when he starts his channeled skill. So he'll be in the background, you know, kind of put him off to the side of your screen to make sure you see him when he does the move. Now that lightning pool that you just see in the Flesh Atronach throw on the ground, like when he did that big hit, that's a one-shot even if you block. So you have to make sure you're moving around and you avoid that lightning. It's very colorful and easy to see. And there he is doing it again. One time I got taken out by just standing in it trying to block and ward, and it didn't work. It took me out in one shot. Now he's down, his blood returns to the guy, and then he's no longer invulnerable, so you just focus him down second, the caster down second. And the Banekin can make this a dangerous fight if you don't manage them, so I kind of put them in between my elemental succession, or a weakness to elements, that the wrath of elements that comes from Vateshran. that's my AoE. I wasn't doing too good of a job of keeping my scamp up, but probably just because I was locking in on the crystals. There I just put the scamp up. I'm just looking back, seeing if there's an orb. I don't think they spawn back there. I mean, actually, no, they do spawn back there. Because one time I got one by the Oak Room, the second Oak Room that's back there. But you have to watch these portals too. Because you'll see here in a second I get an orb that I nearly passed. So I kind of went back on a whim and checked for it. And found one hiding behind this rock. If you look here, like, you can't even see it yet. And there it is. So you can kind of hear them. They have a hum that they make whenever you get by them. But sometimes, you know, even with the hum, they'll be easy to pass. And with these portals, you'll notice in a second I get teleported back. Once you exit them, once you complete them, you can't go back through them again. So sometimes if you're trying to collect the orbs, it's better to take the reset and just have to rerun the portal again, rather than miss out on the orb itself. Because once you pull that chain at the end, you can't go back and search for orbs. So here I go, grabbing this last Amplify Sigil. So the way how that works is that you get a couple seconds in between each of those amplifications to run and find the next one. Otherwise, you'll get teleported back once they expire, and you have to restart the run. So the ads, the monsters that are in that, you just kind of ignore and run past. You let them hit you, you heal up. It's almost like doing a mile lore cog. You just kind of run through looking for the objective, and you know, it's like a synergy portal thing. There, I got my second orb. And the ones that are out on the main course, you can definitely pick up and go back if you forget them, but if they're on the portals, you can't go get them. So it's very important that you pay attention when you're on the portals. You can check behind the rocks, check behind the pipes. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the buff. Now that hammer, Zivkin is tanky. You know, he has a couple AoEs that he does. Chances are the AoE would one-shot you if you left this as your final arena, but no one uses this as the final arena. Neither mag nor stam. Unless you want to just go for the mag buff and the stam buff for some reason. But few people that I know do that. My third magic buff. Now this eye, when you fight this Zivkin, you want to be away from the eye because it'll weaken you and make you slow down your abilities, do less damage, I think, when the eye is active on you. So you want to take out the Zivkin and, you know, ways away from the eye and then focus the eye once the Zivkin is down. At least that's my strategy. And the eyes are tanks. But there's a special mechanic in the boss fight that allows you to take them out. So they're not too big as long as you're watching what you're doing and watching the boss. You know, you can get them into a 2-tap health. And there I'm going back there, checking for an orb. There's no orb back there. Ogrim next, and then go to the portal. I'm looking at the end of the portal and the start of the portal to see if there's any orbs, because sometimes they are on the ledges and you can see them on the ledge. But once again, once you go to the portal and complete it, you can't actually go back because the portal disappears. So even though one might be sitting on the ledge and you look up at the last minute, like, oh, there it is, but you can't actually get to it. And then sometimes they'll be in the middle of the run. So I think there's one coming up here in the middle of this run. If you see behind the pipe, I do a quick look behind me, make sure there's none there, but there's one right in front of me. I go pick up the Amplify, and then I make a run for the orb, and that's my 4th orb if I'm not mistaken. Meaning I got one left. Now the Enfeeblement Eye slows you down as well, so if you notice I was kind of running kind of slow there. because there's an eye, but you don't actually damage it. You just leave all these guys here, pull the chain, get out of here, and move on to the next area. Now for my last orb, you're going to see me go off to a jump course, the grapple course on the right. You see you have the main portal that will take you to the main boss right there, and then off to the side you have a grapple course that will take you to the side boss. Now in this run I don't do the side boss because you don't really have to. You know, if you want the perfected gear, all you have to do is the 2 main bosses in each arena and then the final boss. I don't think you get any bonuses for doing this boss, other than maybe a score boost, but don't quote me on that. And there's my final orb. Sometimes they'll be in the portal. You can see that there's a broken bridge there, and a portal to my right. If you want to unlock that boss, all you have to do is go through the portal, you know, complete it, pull the chain, and then the bridge will form. Okay, so here we are continuing on to the second portal. All the orbs have been absorbed, and this is the final boss. So once you complete this boss for the blue arena, you get teleported out and you can't go back once you move to that portal. So here I just kind of run through, don't really look around as much because I already have all 5 of the mystic orbs. And as you can see, I can ignore every enemy, even though I'm not Night Blade, and just pull the chain and I'm out. Bridge forms. And then we fight the Titan. Now, like most Titans, this guy has an interruptible breath attack. And that is the key to destroying the eye fast. You just have to make sure you don't interrupt. So even though I'm using crushing shock, you'll see me switch to crystal frags and just spamming hard casted crystal frag in order to make sure I don't accidentally interrupt the boss. So you just run over by the eye, he'll be enfeebled, he'll look at you, then you just make sure you stand right next to him, and then when the boss does his nice breath attack, takes half the eye's, or at least 90% of the eye's health out, 2-shot the eye from 10% to 0%, and continue fighting the boss. So my strategy for this boss is to control the Watchers at 50%, and then finish the boss off for the final hit. So I'm just gonna keep on DPSing, ignoring the laser show that's happening around me. Now they have honed in attacks where they beam in on you, and they have those unfocused laser attacks. The unfocused laser does more damage, so you want to make sure you avoid those. Here I got him down to 48, so I take the portal up, kill these guys. Now you're on a timer, I think, when you come up here. So you have to kill as many of them as you can before the timer runs out. And you know, I managed to have the DPS to kill all of them. So once I kill the final one, I think I jump down here. But if you don't jump down, they'll teleport you back. And now from here I do another eye, take that eye out. It didn't see me this time, it was looking the opposite direction, but still something good to get rid of. Otherwise it'll weaken you. And now I ignore all the damage that's coming down from up top, so don't take the portal again and just finish off the boss. bit of a pause here. I guess I'm checking something. I might actually be doing push-ups because I started a challenge every hour. On the hour, I get down and do 10. So that's probably what's happening right here. Here we go, off to the final, or second to last arena. Final of the chosen arenas, which is the health arena, also known as Mayron's Dagon's arena. I think it's a Brimstone something. Brimstone 10, yeah. Now, I hear the clan viewers can one-shot you with their tail swipe if you're not paying attention. I've never had it happen to me. But there was a Nightblade that came through here once and, got taken out by a tail swipe, so you might have to be careful. Otherwise, it's, fairly simple. I focus all the ads before I get to the day drop, because the day drop does the most damage, so I'll make sure I clear the area around me before I get rid of him. So there's the portal to the health buff on the right, meaning how I did the new arena before this. It unlocks the ability to do the health portal. So once again, if you're on Stam Tune, you do magic first, hit the portal because you don't have the grappling hook, and do the health arena, get your health, and then go into the Stam arena, and with the flame bonus that you get from this, and walk through the lava in order to get your Stam buff. So this is another time portal with boosts in order to give you more time. You have to jump across the lava is the best way to avoid the damage. You sprint, you jump, and you go from platform to platform. You take a second on the platform to get rid of the dot, because each time you get hit with the lava, it adds a stacking dot. So grabbing the time bonus usually is enough time to get rid of the dot. So you see there's like a pause that happens whenever I grab one, and then I move on to the next. You see 1-2 hops and I'm across to the next platform without touching the lava all too much. Grab the health orb, 5,000 health. Definitely helps in the last arena. And then there's a clan fury right here that I take out before I fight the day drop, making there be 3 total clan furies in this early section. This is the third one. My pets got into a skirmish with the Outer Notch. Sometimes I leave them, sometimes I kill them. This time I think I killed both of them because they got in the line of fire. And if you look to my left, there's a health orb standing in that crate. So that's number 1 of the bonus healths. Now the day drops have flame attacks that do quite a bit of damage. The regular day drop, you can just walk out the way and they'll keep on attacking the same spot. But the honor guards, they kind of follow you with the flame, so you kind of have to walk in a strafing pattern. Off to the side, off to the left, and the rotation around them, or backing away from them to avoid the damage. Here I think I could hear the other buff, and you can see the glow coming from behind the rock. this is one of the honor guard arenas with Brimstone Warden, so it builds flame attack. Will do a lot of damage and follow you with it, so you can see the way how I sidestep whenever he does it. Now you still get hit, but you can avoid most of the damage. Some of them just backing out of it. Looking around for some more health orbs. I don't really see anything. Sometimes they spawn behind that rock. The one on the right there. Now the Magma Queen wasn't explained to me. I kind of had to figure it out on my own. She'll spawn a bunch of ads, including Imps, Iron Astronaut, and Daedroth. You want to focus the Iron Astronaut, and the Iron Astronaut will drop a synergy called Rock Toss. You want to aim the Rock Toss at a open magma pool that is spawned and throwing lava at you. It'll close the magma pool and then stun the boss for a couple seconds. The imps do stack up quite a bit, so at some point in time you're going to want to turn and burn them, but you can't ignore them for most of the fight. But they do get quite heavy in number if you don't manage them at some point during the fight. So here I focus the boss, I apply my elemental succession. Didn't proc Wrath Elements that time, but what I would typically do is put the boss in between me and the ads, and then proc the elemental succession and just burn the ads with the elemental succession in addition to the familiar. Here I'm focusing the scamps, so it's just a couple seconds of me turning and burning them instead of focusing the boss. Pop my ultimate, hit all of them with the ultimate, and then I focus the boss to make sure the Atro is attacking the right target. Switch it to the Daedroth, and the Daedroth once again has a powerful breath attack. And I think that's my last Daedroth. Now you see that volcano there? I might do the Rock Toss once I take out this Iron Astronaut. Should I go stand where he dies, do the Rock Toss, and then there's the stun. Now this boss isn't really dangerous except for the scamps and the Daedroth. If you can't manage the scamps and the Daedroth, then it will kind of take you out with the amount of little fireballs that get thrown at you. But the boss itself doesn't do too much damage. And neither do those little flame waves that come across the screen. You can dodge them, of course, if you want to avoid them. But if you just ward or block and heal before they hit you, you should be fine. Get hit by those waves. Well, this is me looking around the corner to see if I can find any more of those health bonuses, as they will be spawned into the lava sometimes, and you have to do an extra trip to go get them. So this thing gives you magma immunity or flame immunity. You see the little cauterized symbol on the bottom right, giving me about 12 seconds of flame immunity. So you have to stand close and heavy attack the orb when you're ready. If you accidentally hit it while fighting enemies, it will respawn after about 15 seconds, when the buff would normally expire. You can see there I accidentally put a medium attack into it, but it didn't go because it wasn't a fully charged heavy attack. This is me looking around the corner of that pillar just to make sure there's no health bonus back there. Now when I get here I can hear one, but it's on the other side of this ad pole, so I take out the Daedroth, focus him down. Mostly the scamps despawn once I took out the Daedra. Health bonus, that's my third one. Looking around the corner, making sure there's no more spawning on top of each other. Waiting for that Colossus in the background to kind of walk off, because if you go too early, he will join the fight on that platform. And if you see during this fight, the flame wave that these guys spawn nearly takes me out. I get down super low, I have like 100 HP left. And as for me being too close to one of those ads when they do the channeled move, you see that flame wave right there, just blasting me for all my health. And fighting the Colossus and avoiding mechanics like that can be a bit of a hassle, especially when they're throwing fire on you. Now, even though I said to avoid the Colossus, I will be chasing the Colossus down, going the same direction, because that is where the direction of the other boss is, but also where they can occasionally spawn some more health bonuses. So here I go off to the left. Usually if you want to head directly towards the boss, that's the exit. You go right, but because I'm looking for health bonuses, there's my fourth one, I think. Another magma bonus. You see the Colossus just kind of chilling off, walking all the way in the distance. You never really have to fight him unless you just go too early. And then if you see on the platform by that portal, there's my last health bonus. So all I do, I ignore the magma immunity, just kind of jump across, get the portal, and then I turn and get my final health bonus right here. Once again, once you do the portal, you can't go back and do it again once you complete it, so I don't even bother pulling this lever. I just kind of let it stay there and teleport me back. And I take the magma orb so I can make my way to the final boss of this arena. Now this next platform in between me and the final boss is also quite deadly if you're not prioritizing the weak enemies first, because the Daedra is a warden and has that powerful flame breath in addition to the scamps and this flame wave conjurer, Jamora. So I focus the conjurer, make sure that she dies first because she's the strongest ranged DPS. I avoid the Daedra's light attacks by walking away from them. Also kind of kite the flames, going around in a circle, taking out the scamps. So I was focusing on one in the background, take out this one right here in the foreground. And then once they're all down, I start focusing on the Daedra. Now with the same build, I have died in this platform before, just from the AoE stacking on me and me not avoiding the AoEs well enough. Alright, here we are for the last run through the final boss. This boss has a number of mechanics that it kind of uses from other dungeons. That platform that he's standing on is probably going to be your best friend during the fight, unless he wants to use the magma orb, which will give you immunity to the damage, but he will set the entire floor on fire, pretty much turning it into magma, so unless you grab the orb or step on that platform, you will get burnt. Here's the lava wheel, kind of coming from Black Rose Prison. Except this wheel moves faster, and when you're outside the range of the wheel, it'll throw fire attacks whenever a flame passes. So even when you're out the range, you'll still take damage from the boss. But when you're in range, that especially when this is the last ring that you're doing, it'll one-shot you if you get caught by those flames. Same thing with the arena when it gets set on fire. If you're standing on the arena, you'll die really quickly. So for this, you want to kite around this platform here while this Colossus summons fire and avoid the boss's attack. Focus the Colossus. You'll get 2 during the fight with my DPS that you have to take care of. So you just focus them down, kite away from the boss, and avoid, once again, those flames that he throws near him in a circle. But it's kind of easy to DPS when he's standing still like this. Just you have to remember to heal yourself every now and again. He does, you know, the sword to the ground, run towards that pyre, and don't stand on the coals itself because they do hurt. Not as much as standing in the lava, but they still can stack up, you know, with the damage that he does and take you out if you're not paying attention. Now this next part gets kind of derpy because I'm anticipating the Colossus coming around 30%, and I see him way off in the distance, so I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and focus him. The thing is that he's a ranged Colossus, he's not melee Colossus. So once I engage him, he just kind of stays out there in the lava for a second, even does his flame cast out there, and you know, I'm completely ignoring the boss at this point, just trying to get rid of this Colossus. And here I am on the platform fighting with the flames coming on top of me, so I'm just kind of doing a little circle, avoiding the bones. But I can't hit through the bones, so I kind of have to stop, put my wolf shield on, go to the coals, and then I'm waiting for the platform to come off on fire. At 20%, the boss goes to the center and throws fire orbs everywhere. When you're on the platform, you don't really have to worry about them as much. But if you're in the arena, they can do a lot of damage to you if you're not standing away from them. And here I just finish off the boss after he does his final flame attack. And now it's off to the hardest part of the Vateshran Hollows, which is the ending, or what would they call it? It's not the choosing, it's something else. But I'm going to fight the Void Mother.
You perform beyond our expectations.
So for this fight, you have to pay attention to the portals that are outside the arena, remembering which ones you've taken. I personally go from left to right, starting with the blue portal to the Perseus portal, and then to the flame portal on the furthest to the right. But if you're running and you're not paying attention when the boss goes down to 10%, so 10% or below 10%, you'll summon a nuke that will blast the whole field. And if you're not, you know, moving quick enough to those portals, you'll die. So you kind of want to have them in your line of sight or be by them when the mechanic goes off, or when the mechanic is about to go off. For my DPS, I have to focus the ads. So she'll announce and call, she'll give me more power or something like that whenever she spawns one of those skull colossuses. And then when she calls her allies, the allies are the shade. So that's how you know when those mechanics are going to be coming up. If you accidentally hit a chain skeleton, it will spawn and start fighting you. So you want to avoid accidentally hitting those chained up skeletons on the side. Otherwise, you'll have to fight more ads than you would otherwise have to deal with. I think I'm not having once this fight. But focusing the Colossus, because you know his cleave will kill you if you're not paying attention, or if it stacks up with the dance that she's doing now. So the dance that she does, you know, she'll attack, you know, an outer ring, an inner ring, and another outer ring, and another inner ring. You just kind of jump around and step in and out of them, even when the shades are surrounding you, which can get pretty dangerous when they're right on top of you. When the shades are too close, you don't want to roll dodge, because chances are you'll roll dodge into their beam. The first part of the fight is kind of easy, even though you know there's a whole bunch of damage numbers going everywhere. It's kind of hectic. You know, my damage, like I said, is not the best. I'm just barely kind of passing these DPS checks. You know, you saw all the numbers that were just flying on that minion that wasn't even dying. I think she also, when she says rewarded by emptiness, that's another cue to let you know that these shades are coming. So you have to focus down one of these shades and then step out, and you can see how close the circle was to being complete. If you're caught in that circle, you will die. You know, standing in the center, and if you walk into the beam, you will die. You can't jump over it, you can't streak through it, and paying attention to the health. I wasn't even looking at the boss, I was probably looking at the top of the screen at the time. You see how low her health got? It got below 10%, so I just naturally moved over to the thing. She might have even screamed to let me know that she's about to do the bomb. And then it's time to fight these side bosses. Now each boss will add a mechanic to the fight. So depending upon the order that you activate them or fight them, we'll introduce a new mechanic. This guy just kind of summons, I think, more adds, which isn't too hard, so he's the first one that I do. The second one that I do, I'm kind of questioning moving off to the last one because it summons a Minotaur that throws lava on the ground, and you can't actually kill the Minotaur. So it'll just randomly slows you down, snare you, and do damage to you during the fight. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if it's something that was intended, but you have to watch out for it. And the last arena, which is why I kind of like doing the last portal last, summons a bunch of flame casters. So you'll notice that once I do that portal, I'm managing adds like crazy, and you know, I'm having to interrupt multiple flame casters at the same time. I can't even focus the boss because there's so much side damage going on. Well, the skeleton is kind of easy to kill. It's a lot easier than a flaming skull colossus, but he has quite a bit of health. He's the tankiest add there, and the fire guy also has some health. So I think the archer is what that first arena added. The archer doesn't do too much damage; it just kind of dies passively. You know, I can take him out in like 3-2 hits. Not the worst add that's out there. The longer you're inside the void step, the void mother heals. So here you see I'm getting her down to 10%. I'm ignoring this colossus this time, and I'm waiting for her to do her bomb. You see how at the last second she threw her head in the air? You can see a little bit of the orb that she has in her hand right now. And when she throws it on the ground, everything dies. So you have to do the void step, come fight this Minotaur. Now one of these Minotaurs you can fight. The other one just stays around the fight forever until the end of the fight. And he'll constantly throw lava, well not really constantly, but periodically he'll throw down that lava AoE that you see there. Which when the shades are on you and you're in the lava, it can get quite hectic because you're snared and you're trying to focus the shades of all the adds. So once you finish off the boss, our portal will open. That will take you back to the main boss fight. And the quicker you get through it, like I said, the lower health she'll be. So this time she's only at 40%, so I only have to take her down another 10%. Here comes the shades. I focus the shade, avoid the steps that she does when she throws those AoEs. So I'm moving back and forth, you know, left and right, in order to avoid these AoEs. Walk on through, avoided death there, focusing the Skull Colossus. Skull Colossus down. And now finally focusing on the boss. Now you see that Minotaur just randomly popping up, throwing this AoE on the ground that I can't really get rid of. Slows you, snares you, and does damage. Got her down to 9% again. I did a quick check just to make sure she was doing her bomb. And then I'm going to the last portal. So this guy is the guy that summons a ton of flame mages. So if you do this portal first, you have to fight flame mages throughout the entire fight, and they do this channel cast that you have to interrupt. When there's more than one ad stacked up, sometimes you have to shoot through an ad in order to get to them, or run past an ad in order to get to them. Otherwise, you can't actually interrupt them because something will body block for them. And they do it quite often. And sometimes there'll be multiple ads on the field. I've had 3 up at the same time, even managing the ads. But this is the last mini boss, the last mechanic that gets added to the fight. And once again, avoid his flame, so when he does his flame attack, just kind of step away from him. Or step around him if you're on melee DPS. With a melee DPS, you have to be very quick with it. Here comes a Flame Shaper. This I'm just going to ward through it, come up, bash him, and then go look for the portal out of here. Summon my pets because he killed my pets. And here we are, the final push. And, you know, you might be paying attention to the length of this video. Wondering why there's so much time left. Well, we shall see in a second just how close this fight can be. This is like legit the final phase of the fight that I have to do. You know, nothing left here but to burn the boss, you know, once I finish off the shade. And, yeah. It's pretty hectic. Flame Shaper right there. Interrupted. Another Flame Shaper I think is right next to him. So after I kill the one, I gotta kill the second one. Call them the Void Mages. The minute are coming up that you can't actually attack, you're just throwing stuff at you, flaming AoEs. The archer that occasionally comes by, but isn't all that deadly. And then the skeleton colossus. So here I am finishing off the skeleton. Getting into another fight with these shades. Remembering the same shade that I just touched, you know, make sure I'm focusing on one only. If you try to attack multiple shades, of course, you're not going to be able to kill them all at the same time. And, you know, you can make sure you stay on the one, even when there's adds in between you and it, you have to make sure you take it out. A Flame Shaper in the back, but there's adds body blocking, and the little shades are body blocking for it, so I tried to interrupt it once with the Crushing Shot, tried to interrupt it twice with the Crushing Shot, didn't work, and then I had to go in for the bash, but he already finished his animation, but I killed my pets in the time, which was a big cost on my Magicka. And then here I am going for another interrupt, but there's 2 mages up, so watch this. Actually, no, I think there's 3 mages up. Yeah, and they just blasted me out for all my health I could ward. Couldn't really do much else because my Magicka was low. And yeah, that was a whole restart for the final phase of the boss. For this part, I'm just going to let the fight do the talking for itself. Now the mechanics are explained. Alright, so that was the run. Notice how close that was, even though I was managing the ads. Even at times, I had to drop meteors in order to take out like 3 of those void flame shapers at a time, or void flame mages. And yeah, managed to get my the weapon of choice I was looking for. I was looking for the Vateshran perfected sword. So I probably won't be back in here for a while, but it's always interesting to run. It takes me about an hour. There are then hour 8. 2 deaths away from a no death. All I had to do was avoid the troll and not get taken out that first time by the flame shapers, and it would have been a no death. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.
Though it comes at the loss of our first Vateshran, this incursion of the void into the Hollows concerns all the sisters. Although the spirit blood do not allow outsiders within its ranks, we still recognize what you've done this day. You may travel through the Reach, confident that none may question your strength. The song of your triumph echoes through time.